Wild West burger from the Will Smith film, and it was basically a Burger King burger, but it had onion rings in, and it was groundbreaking at the time. I'd never come across a burger with onion rings in. I know it's a fairly standard thing now. I had onion rings in my burger that I had in Wetherspoons the other day. They just put them in. It's normal. Burger King themselves do several burgers that come with onion rings as standard now. But that Wild Wild West burger had such an effect on me that for at least 5 years after that day, I could not order a meal from Burger King without also ordering a separate serving of onion rings and putting them into the burger, because it was that delightful.
See, I can't really remember any of their big burgers. Any of them. I remember there being a Burger King once that had some sort of Aberdeen Angus special that they had on that was awesome. I had a few of them. I remember because I had a voucher thing that meant if I bought one, I got another one free. And then another thing, whereas if you bought a burger, you got another one free. And I went there with my wife, but she's a vegetarian. So she ended up having a chicken burger or whatever. She eats chicken. But she
not a vegetarian,
then. Chicken, by the way.
Why?
She's a vegetarian that eats fish now.
Why is she giving up chicken?
She doesn't agree with the way they're kept.
I don't understand.
No, me neither. But because the fish are caught from the wild, I guess. I don't know. I just went with it.
Okay. So does this mean you don't get any meat made for you ever now?
Are
you a vegetarian now?
I am allowed to eat meat when I want, but we're not going to have it at home very much.
Oh, sheepdog.
It's harsh, isn't it? She'll get chicken for us and sausages and so forth. She already gets meat for us now and again. It's just not...
Do you draw little faces on the sausages? That's what I'd do.
It doesn't really bother me though. I'm alright. I just eat what I'm given. Saves me cooking anything, doesn't it? But anyway, the point was we went to Burger King then and I ended up having 3 of these proper special burgers they'd made that were like bacon, some sort of really nice cheese, and it was like they'd described the cow they'd made it from that he'd been given like whiskey to live off of or something like that for...
They made a cow drunk and then cut it into pieces.
That's what they do. Is the most expensive stuff you get is where they've made it drink like ale or Guinness or something for its entire life, and then when it's kind of got liver disease and it's like 8 years old or whatever, and it's off its face constantly, they then kill it and cut it open and everything.
Is someone planning on cutting you open and making you into a burger? Is that what the thinking is?
Well,
there?
If they were ever planning on that, they do need to wait until I'm off my face. Then
you won't notice.
It'll taste better. Apparently,
okay.
That's what they do.
Interesting. Should we do some listener questions?
That was one of them, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yep.
Whose was it?
I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to start off with Joe Callan off of Twitter, who has said, what's the most obscure time and place you've eaten fast food? For example, he's had KFC at twilight on the outskirts of Inverness.
I didn't think that was that obscure.
No, that's just having a KFC on the way home. Yeah. That's fairly normal. I've done that a lot.
I was looking at that thinking, like, I don't know, with those kind of constraints, it's not, Peterborough service station on the outskirts of Peterborough. I don't know.
You must have had an obscure takeaway in your time. Sorry, not takeaway, fast food. I'm not allowing takeaway. The weirdest one I've had, and it wasn't particularly weird because it was a McDonald's breakfast in an airport, which you may be thinking, that doesn't sound unusual at all, but it was an airport in Mallorca. Now, if you went to McDonald's at like 7:30 in the morning, what sort of food would you expect to be eating?
The things we get here, the pancakes and whatnot.
They don't do any of that in Spain.
No.
McDonald's in Spain, or at least at the airport, does not have breakfast fare. They only had normal meals. And they're not normal meals either. They're weird European McDonald's variants. So I went in there with my kids. They couldn't just have a chicken burger or chicken nuggets or anything like that. They don't exist. They don't have any breakfast stuff. When our flight was at like 7:30 in the morning, so we were in there stupid early, and I'd promised my Sprouted, look, you can have some McDonald's pancakes. You like McDonald's pancakes? That's your reason to get out of bed, McDonald's pancakes. We'd been on the bus for an hour. We left the hotel before breakfast was served. We were all starving. We got there, and they had nothing that any of us recognised. I thought McDonald's was the same everywhere, but they didn't even have a Big Mac. It was weird stuff. And in the end, we had these strange sort of spiced chicken wraps. So we all just had chips for breakfast because that's the only thing we liked on the menu.
I thought of an answer that's probably going to beat that in some sort of mild factor.
I'll be the judge of that, sir.
When I was younger, I used to have to go to the orthodontist because I had braces. So I always used to have to go back and forth.
Are there any pictures of you before the braces anywhere? I'd like to see this.
Bad. Just, I had teeth up here.
He's pointing at his forehead at the moment.
No. Above my front teeth.
Tusks.
Teeth, and they pulled them down. That was all they did.
Tusks.
A lot of people have that. But so for years I had to go back and forth. Well, not for years, about a year and a half, I had to go back and forth on this boat to Kent. So I knew the area.
This was before roads existed,
but
wasn't
then, that's just a precursor. I went there with my wife years later. Anyway, and I was showing her. There's a McDonald's, and round the corner from it is where they buried Pocahontas, the woman from the Disney film in Kent. Her grave is just.
That's not what she's most famous for, being in a Disney film. Was it the actress who played Pocahontas or actual Pocahontas?
Actual Pocahontas.
That's more impressive.
She was buried in a grave in this church round the corner from this McDonald's in what's I don't think what it's called.
The
Kent.
South.
But yeah, the South. It is in Kent. I want to say Gravesend. But yeah, so we went across in this little boat, got a McDonald's, took it to the grave, and just sat there eating McDonald's in front of Pocahontas' grave, which is just random enough, isn't it?
Nice.
I mean,
did you offer her a chip?
Mallorca. I didn't. I probably littered a bit. No, I would have just used the bin nearby. But it was a bit weird.
What did you have? Was it something
Probably
respectful to
generic.
Pocahontas?
Nah, probably like raccoon burger or something. She had a raccoon mate, didn't she? But yeah.
I think you're confusing the cartoon with reality again, aren't you?
But that same boat journey, I remember getting one there with this guy. Because while I had my braces, I went back and forth. I met another kid in my year who was one of like the hardest kids in our year. Quite a rough guy, like would have beat the crap out of you if you weren't one of his mates, sort of thing. I remember we kind of built up a bit of we knew each other from getting this boat to our orthodontist, which sounds a bit lame. But I remember getting a McDonald's with him, and then we were on our way back, and he threw his milkshake over the side of the boat because he didn't want it. And then when we looked, this poor swan was just pink with his strawberry milkshake all over it, and he didn't know it was there. So I was kind of like, I felt bad for him and the swan because he felt really bad that he just covered this poor swan, and the swan was just walking around pink. And
Who throws a milkshake away? But milkshakes are the best things about McDonald's.
He just kind of went, oh. And I just thought, what are you doing? That's why I looked.
Did you immediately say to him, I'd have had that?
I looked over, I reckon the fat kid in me looked over thinking, can I save that? Can I fish that out of the water? But that poor swan was covered in pink.
Did you lick the swan?
I didn't. He'd gone. I would have done there. Although I prefer banana. Banana's better.
On your swan.
Yeah, that's it. I think Pocahontas' grave beats the outskirts of Inverness, surely.
Probably. What about a weird airport?
See, I've had them in France. I had a Burger King in France.
Did you have it with an Orangina?
No. I am intrigued to see whether when I'm going to Lanzarote next week, and I'm thinking, I wonder if they'll give me anything when I get off the plane.
I'm going to ring Leonard Anzarotti and tell him to have Orangina ready for you at the airport.
Amazing. We are planning on going to France for the weekend sometime over summer.
What, me and you?
No, me and...
I was going to say, I don't remember us planning that. That must have happened at the weekend. I'd rather
come.
Not. I don't want Orangina. I don't like it.
Bruges.
Ooh, now you've tempted me. Interesting. We didn't get any Orangina when we went there, though. Although they did have it in the train station, didn't they? You're not going to get the ferry, are you, you sick pervert?
I don't know. If I get free Orangina out of it...
Yeah, it's 3 times the price of the Eurotunnel. Eurotunnel, Tesco Club cards, can't go wrong. I went to Bruges twice that summer for nothing. Just the cost of the petrol.
And whatever you did when you were there and the hotel.
Yeah, but I went there for nothing. Yeah. I traversed the ocean for £0. Well, I had to pay for travel sickness pills because I don't like trains.
Yeah, I'm quite nervous about getting on a plane.
Don't try and fly it. No matter what happens, no matter what pickle you get into, do not try and fly the plane.
I got my seats earlier. I rang them up. Cause
You're supposed to leave them on the plane.
I rang up the company and said, you ain't sent us our tickets. And they went, we ain't printed them yet. And I thought, we're going in a couple of days, probably need them. But they said, would you like to book your seats while you're here? And I said, yeah, go on in. And they offered me seats at the back, and they went the cheaper seats, so I got at the back of the plane.
But then you remembered Lost and thought, no.
Well, first of all, I thought to myself, what's wrong with the back of the plane? And then I thought, that's where Bernard and the others, the original others, fell out the back of the plane. They survived, but they ended up living with the weird people. I mean, to be fair, they got answers before Jack and the gang. So,
but they didn't become such big international TV stars.
Yeah, but I like to think if we did end up falling on some mystery island between here and Lanzarote, that we'd get answers. We'd end up living in the temple and getting to know Ben and his gang and the others and all of that. And then Jack would meet up with me, and I'd be telling him all the secrets I'd learned. And then
Jack probably doesn't get on planes these days. He's probably learnt his lesson.
I don't know. He spoiled the programme then. But,
what, the 5-year-old programme that we're talking about?
You can't talk about the last episode of Lost.
Why?
Because there might be people watching it.
Who?
People.
Hands up if you're still watching Lost. Oh, look, no hands.
We're the only people.
That's the trick I learnt from the live show. Every few minutes I'm going to say hands up if, because I did that constantly. Well, that's going to be great when I release the audio version of that next week. It's going to be brilliant, because every 2 minutes I'm saying, right, hands up if. That's
People
my
never
new...
responded. I think hands never went up, really, did they?
There was a few hands that were pretty much up the whole time because people just wanted attention.
No, I reckon he probably flies around, probably wanting to get back to the island.
I don't know so much. So whereabouts on the plane are you?
Like 3 rows from the back.
Oh.
She sold it to me by, when you get on there, you don't have to walk very far. And then you'll be one of the first off.
And have you gone for a window seat?
We've got, 3 near the window.
Nice.
I thought my daughter wants to just spend the whole journey looking out.
Unless she shits herself because it's scary.
Yeah, then we'll swap. That's my plan. I said to her, your seat's next to the window until you want to swap with me.
What time are you flying?
I don't know, can't remember.
Morning or afternoon? I need to know.
About midday.
I'm trying to work out what type of airplane food you're going to get and whether or not they'll offer you Bucks Fizz on the way
They
on.
haven't mentioned any airplane food.
It's a 4-hour flight to Lanzarote. You're going to get fed and probably watch a film.
EasyJet though, will I?
Oh, Jesus, EasyJet, maybe not.
Yeah.
Probably have to pay extra for a seat.
There's not even. We had to pay £3 to be told we had these seats. Bizarre, but
They'll charge you extra for seat belts.
do they? I almost fell for that, but no, I honestly don't know what to expect.
What, you want us to close the door, sir? That's going to be an extra £30.
I wouldn't want them. I'd make them leave it open. £30. Just hold on to my kids. But no, I don't know what to expect. My mum keeps saying to me, "Have you checked you've got food?" And I'm thinking, well, I think we fly about 2ish, so I'm thinking, well, I'll have had lunch at the airport, and then when I get there, it's about sort of 7ish, I think.
And you're going to land in the volcano.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool. But
Then you're going to go for a swim straight away, aren't you?
I get cramp if I eat and go for a swim straight away.
You ain't eating.
I'm going to eat when I get there.
Last time I got there, food had already closed. That was a bit worrying. They brought out some bread and cheese for me. They brought bread and cheese out from the kitchen. And other people sat around the bar by the pool, came out and ate my bread and cheese. That was brought out for me. I'm the one who moaned that there was no food when I got there. It's not for you hobos who've been here for 3 days already. You should have had dinner.
Pigeons, isn't they? They're just like, just smelling it. And
not usually food out this time of day. Oh, a bit of stale bread. I'll dip that in my free lager. Arseholes.
I'm getting straight on that, I tell you. By the time we go to bed that first night, I'm going to be shit-faced. It's going to be mental.
You're going to sleep through the rest of the holiday,
I'm
aren't
going to
you?
wake up with a hangover that next day.
And then start again, beer for breakfast.
Yeah. You don't give me an unlimited bar tab. That's just...
Yeah, have you warned them about you?
They'll
Yeah, next time I go to
I'll
an
be in the
airport...
volcano. They'll take me to the volcano and throw me in.
Next time I go to an airport, there's just going to be a picture of you there, isn't there? Don't give this man a drink.
Oh, I'm going to ruin it. I'm well excited.
Stack of Cookies has asked a question on Twitter. Chips or French fries?
Glad he asked this because the world needs to listen.
I'm sure they
Chips
are.
only.
Well, that's what they should be called, or that's what you prefer? I'm not really
Chips
sure where
I
he's getting
prefer.
at with the question here.
I'm assuming he means, do you want chips or do you want French fries?
I'll have
Always
both.
Chips. French fries are really nice.
French fries done well are excellent, though.
Yeah, but you told me the Belgian ones were the best things I was ever going to eat, and they weren't.
Those chips in Belgium were amazing.
They're all right.
They're cooked in meat fat. Solid slabs of meat fat. That's what they cook their chips in there. You can't eat chips if you're a vegetarian
I
on
just
the
don't get why
continent.
they fry them twice. That makes them crispier. And
Exactly.
I don't really like crispy food.
Chips are supposed to be crispy.
I like soft stuff.
That's because you haven't got any teeth. Get a set of false teeth and you'll love proper twice-fried, delightful chips.
I
can't believe you're moaning that a chip wasn't soggy enough. There's something wrong with you.
I like... there was a chip shop near where I used to grow up. Where I grew up. That they used to, if you went there a certain time, the chips would have been in there about, I don't know, half hour or so, and they'd be just right. But if you went there when they'd just done them, they were a bit sort of yellow and a bit. They weren't really. I don't know. They weren't very nice. And I used to go in there and say to him, "How long have your chips been there for?" And he'd go, "Oh, only a minute," and I'd just leave because he's obviously thinking I'm not going to tell him half hour. But he learned soon enough that I, if I came in and asked, I meant, "Have they been there half hour yet?" And he'd tell the truth and they'd be all right. But yeah.
You're a weird man.
Chips done properly are awesome, but I don't really like French fries. And they're called chips either way.
Well said, sir. Stone737 on Twitter said, do you guys remember the McDonald's hot dogs? If so, what did you think of them? Because he's gutted they didn't come back. I think he dreamt that. I don't think that was real.
I don't think that happened. But
I remember McDonald's pizza.
Do you want to know who puts hot dogs in their pizzas now?
Domino's.
Yeah,
Everyone
in
knows
their
that.
crust,
I'm a
that's what it
fat
is.
man. I know where you can find pizza with hot dogs
Is that
inside
nice,
it.
though?
I don't know. I've not had it, but it's got like hot dog and mustard in the crust, doesn't it?
Wow.
So you sit there eating your pizza and you think, oh, I'm a bit bored of
Wow.
pizza now. Eat the crust and it's like a ready-made hot dog already with mustard in.
I